Welcome to School of Prop. I'm Preston Swan, and we are talking about Proposition 306, otherwise known as the Clean Election Account Uses and Commission Rulemaking Measure. If approved, Prop 306 will do two things. One, prohibit candidates who receive public financing from giving those funds to political parties or campaigning organizations. And two, require any proposed rules created by the Citizens Clean Election Commission to be approved by the Governor's Regulatory Review Council. Maybe not the sexiest thing on the ballot this year, but there's some important stuff in this one, so let's break it down. In 1998, Arizona voters agreed to set up a voluntary system of public financing for elections, so candidates don't have to be super wealthy just to run. So let's say you want to run for state legislature. If you want to receive public financing money, you must agree to do two things. One, not take any private financing, like from PACs or corporations. And two, you must receive 200 $5 contributions to your campaign. If you do that, the state agrees to give you about $25,000, which is assumed to be enough to run a competitive campaign. And these funds come from things like surcharges on traffic fines. Anything you don't spend by the end of the campaign, you got to give back. This year alone, 174 candidates are running on clean election funds across the state, and they're Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Green Party, the whole lot. If Prop 306 passes, those public campaign funds can't be given to political parties or tax-exempt groups that try to influence voters. The candidate has to either spend it all themselves or give it back. The other half of Prop 306 deals with a change to the Citizens Clean Election Commission. The commission is a nonpartisan entity created in 1998 with the goal of educating voters and enforcing campaign finance laws. They're the ones that they make those booklets that you see before every election. Yeah, so the commission has 5 commissioners, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and 1 independent, and they can make their own rules. Those rules don't need to be approved by the legislature or the governor because they're independent. Yeah, I think you can see where this is going. Prop 306 would require the commission to receive approval for new public financing rules from the Governor's Regulatory Review Council. It just so happens that the governor appoints 6 of the 7 council members. Supporters of Prop 306 argue that public financing is being abused to funnel money to political parties. The argument goes that there are candidates who qualify to receive these funds with no real intention of winning a race, but instead they're just running to donate those funds to political parties. They also argue that being able to give this money to political parties, a rule that the Citizens Clean Election Commission approved a few years ago, violates the spirit of public financing. Interestingly enough, opponents to Prop 306 also argue in favor of keeping political parties out of this process, just in another way. Opponents argue that requiring the Citizens Clean Election Commission to run every rule they make by the Governor's Regulatory Review Council essentially makes a nonpartisan commission very partisan, since the governor picks 6 of the 7 council members. I won't lie. This one's a little tricky because it feels like you have to make a choice between fighting against political parties or limiting an independent election committee. But it's up to you. From School of Prop, I'm Preston Swan, and this election day, it's your vote.